Hello, today our lesson is again right triangle trigonometry, and we are doing this one right here, using inverse trig functions to find an angle if you know the sides. Again, before what we did last time is we were able to find missing side if we had a reference angle. So click on this. Okay, so this is what we're doing today, using functions to find an angle if we know the sides, okay? And here's a description of what we're doing. Make sure you translate this and read this to make sure you understand. Before, we found the sides if we had an angle and one known side. Today, we're going to use inverse opposite to find the reference angle if we have two known sides. Let me show you an example. Okay, first of all, here's the notes. Make sure you open this and take notes as you watch this video. So go ahead and open this first, and then you're watching the video. And then also, here's the assignment. After you get done and finish, you can open the assignment. I'm going to show you the assignment to see what you'll see as you do this assignment. So we already know. This is a review. If we have an angle, 27, and we have a side, we can find the other side, x, correct? We know how to do that from our last lesson, okay? So we already know how to do the review, but today what we're going to do is we're going to find, so again, what we did yesterday is we're finding a side, a missing side. What is x? That's what we did before, okay? Now what we're going to do today is we're going to learn to find the measure of the angle. So we're going to learn to find, we have two sides, right? 21 and 31, but what is the reference angle, right? What is that? That's what we're going to learn to do today. So when you open up your notes, you'll find this. Again, this is a repeat of what I was just saying. You can read it again and translate it, but I'm going to refer to this site right here. So I'm going to open this one up, and I'm going to, what I want you to do, if you need to translate it, remember you can translate up here, right? Okay. But what I want you to do is kind of look at this a little bit. So this is what we already know about, right? We know how to identify the sides, and what the reference angle is determines the opposite. So this is what we used in the last lesson. We know that if we have an angle, if we have that angle, that the ratio, the sine, is equal to the opposite over the hypotenuse, if it's sine, right? What we're going to do today is we're going to use the opposite of sine, and that's considered sine, as you see, to the -1, right? So that's different, and we're going to show how to do that on the calculator. That's called the inverse. This is another word for the opposite sign. And what we do here is we start with, instead of starting with the angle, we're going to start with the ratio, and then we're going to get the angle, okay? So before we started with the angle, use sine to get opposite over hypotenuse. One of them was an x or an unknown, so we were able to figure it out. Today, we're going to start here, and we're going to go this direction to find the angle, okay? So if you want, you can review this. You can say, hey, I know that sine 35, if you take your calculator and you put this in your calculator. So, but remember, before we do, we have to check this. If this says radian, we need to turn it to degrees. Do you remember how to do that? So to do that, we have to go to mode. Mode, okay? We click on mode. Right here, we see radian, so we need it to be that black line to highlight the degrees. So we're going to use our arrow keys. Click over here. Oops, we have to click down to there. Okay, there we go. Click there, and then it's on degree, and we hit enter. And we double check it like that. Okay, good. And we hit clear. So it's on degree. Good. You always have to do that first when you're doing trigonometry, because it naturally goes to radians. Okay, what was it? Sine 35. So we're going to go to sine and then 35 parenthesis enter, and I get 0.57. Okay, so that's what it shows over here, right? So sine 35 is equal to 0.57, but it's also, we can take the sides, right? So remember, sine SOHCAHTOA, right? You remember SOHCAHTOA? Sine is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. That means these sides, when we divide them, they should all equal that, and it shows that, right? So that means 2.8, which would be the opposite from 35, divided by the hypotenuse, 4.9. So clear. 2.8 divided by 4.9 should also equal 0.57, and it does, see? So that's the way it works. Okay, now what you're going to learn today, this is what we're doing today. It's a little bit different. But now, what if we don't know 35? What if we only know these? That means that if we take sine negative 1 of 0.57, in this case the sides, that we should get 35. So this says 0.57, but let's forget about that for a moment. So please listen carefully on this. Step number 1 when we use our calculator. So remember these two sides, 2.8 and 4.9. So if I'm going to go sine inverse, see the little blue ones? Sine, let me see if I can make it really big. Can I make it bigger? Let's see. Okay, yes I can. Oh, come back here. Where'd you go? Well, there they are. Okay. So here's where the blue is sine negative 1, cosine negative 1, tan negative 1. So I'm going to have to hit second sine negative 1. Okay, let me make it smaller again. Okay, so again, let's go back, get away from here. I don't want this on there. Go bye-bye. Ugh, it's very annoying, but it's free. I don't know why that came back up again. Control minus. Okay, I had to open up my browser again, so it's back on Radian. I always check that. So I'm going to go to mode, scroll down, degree, enter, clear. Okay, it's back on degree. Okay, so again, now I'm going to go to, so what I want to do, I want to go sine negative 1, inverse sine of 2.8 divided by 4.9, okay? So I'm going to, oh, I hate that. Get away from me. Bye-bye. Oh, okay, so I have to get inverse sine, I have to go second, and then sine negative 1, and then I have to take those sides, 2.8 divided by 4.9, which we know is also 0.57, parenthesis, and then I hit enter, and what do I get? 34.8, which rounds to 35 degrees, okay? So that's how we're able to figure out the angle if we only have the sides, okay? So there you go. That's how you do it, guys. If you want, you can look at the rest of this. It kind of gives you more information. I think this is a review of what we just said. You can also see how it applies in real life if you want to look at that example. But for now, I think this site is okay. Now let's go back to the assignment and work a few problems to make sure that you understand how to do it. Okay. So let me go ahead and open the assignment. I'm going to open it in Kami, okay, so I can mark it up. Okay, so here's the assignment. Now the first 3 questions are review questions, okay? So you should be able to do that. As you'll notice with the first 3 questions, we have the angle, right? So then you're trying to find the side. But this is a review. You should know how to do that from yesterday. If not, if you have not done yesterday's or the last assignment on how to find the side, if you have an angle, make sure you do that first. Okay, but let's see. Number 4 is going to be the first one that we have. So let's see this. Here we have a side of 31, another side of 21, and we're going to try to find the angle that corresponds to that. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to label. We still label. Number 1, label sides. So we still do that. So let's see, if this is our reference angle, then this would be the opposite. And we know that's the hypotenuse. So we're going to use, okay, can you remember what we should use? Should we use sine, cosine, or tangent? Well, always remember, write down SOH, CA, TOA, right? Remember, this is tangent, cosine, sine. So let's see, we have H and O, that's going to be this one and this one, so we're going to use sine, but we're going to use inverse sine. So we're going to go sine, and we're going to go like this, -1, and then we're going to go parentheses, and we're going to go opposite over hypotenuse, I'll just do over H. That's going to equal the angle. So that would mean that sine, and I'll put -1, I'm going to abbreviate this. Opposite, what is the opposite? It is 21. What is the hypotenuse? It's 31. Okay. Now I'm going to go to my calculator and I'm going to clear that. And again, it's on degrees. Good. So I'm going to go second sine 21 divided by 31, parenthesis, enter, and I get 42.64, or probably rounds either 42 or 43. So that would be this one. Okay, good. So that's how you do it. Let's do one more. Let's do number 5. And if you want to try it first to see if you think you know how to do it, go ahead and do it. And I'll pause the video and I'll come back and show you. Okay, so let's look at number 5. So here's the angle. So that's number 1. Let's label the side. So the side, this is going to be opposite, hypotenuse, adjacent. So what are we going to use? Well, we're going to use the sides that we have. We have 54, which is a hypotenuse, and 29, which is adjacent. So we need H and A, no H and A. So that's going to be cosine, right? Okay, so it's going to be cosine. So we're going to go cosine -1, parenthesis, and then cosine is A divided by H. I'm going to abbreviate that, and that's going to equal theta. Remember, this is the theta, right? That's the angle's always theta, okay? So what is that? I'm going to abbreviate. What is the adjacent? It is 29. What hypotenuse is 54. What is that equal to? Go back to our calculator. So what was it? Whoa, hold on. So now we're going to go cosine, not sine. So we're going to go second cosine. And then we're going to go 29 divided by 54, parenthesis, enter, and we get 57.5. So it's either 57 or 58. And we're going to pick the closest one to it. So it's 58. So that's how you do it, guys. That's how you find the angle if you've got two sides. So now you can go ahead and finish the assignment and then make sure you put your answers into Canvas and hit submit, and that's it.